Before the foundations of the earth were laid, before the first breath of man stirred the dust, there was a realm unseen, yet more real than anything known to humanity, the heavens, not empty, not silent, but filled with order, power, and beings of unimaginable glory. The ancient scriptures speak of this time only in fragments. The Book of Job records a moment before creation itself, where the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. This was not a chaotic beginning. It was a kingdom, a structured dominion ruled by divine authority, where angels described in the Hebrew texts as malachim served as messengers, warriors, and ministers. Among them were ranks and orders. The writings describe 9 orders: seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, powers, virtues, principalities, archangels, and angels. These were not myths. They were attempts by limited human language to describe a reality beyond comprehension. At the highest level stood beings of fire and purity, the seraphim. The prophet Isaiah describes them as creatures who stand before the throne of God, crying continuously, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." They were not merely worshippers. They were guardians of divine holiness. Below them, the cherubim, beings of knowledge and presence, are described with multiple faces and wings, moving like flashes of lightning. This was the structure of heaven, perfect, ordered, unified, and yet, within this perfection, something began to change. Among the heavenly host was a being of extraordinary beauty and authority. The prophet Ezekiel describes a figure as the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. He was adorned with precious stones, walking among the fiery stones of heaven. The early church fathers interpreted this passage as a reflection of a greater hidden reality, a being who would later be known by another name, Lucifer. The fall did not begin with war. It began with a thought, a distortion, a question that had never existed before. How can one who shines so brightly remain beneath another? The book of Isaiah records words that echo across eternity. "I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High." These are not merely poetic declarations. They are the first recorded expressions of rebellion in the universe. Pride. According to the writings of St. Augustine, pride is not simply arrogance. It is the turning of the will away from God toward the self. And this turning began in heaven. Lucifer, once a bearer of light, became consumed not by darkness, but by self-exaltation. The Book of Enoch expands this narrative through the story of the Watcher's angels who descended, defied divine order, and corrupted creation. While distinct from Lucifer's rebellion, early Christian writers often saw parallels between these accounts. Multiple acts of heavenly defiance, all rooted in disobedience. Origen proposed that angels were created with free will, and that some chose to fall. This idea would shape centuries of Christian thought, because if angels could choose, then heaven was not a prison of obedience. It was a realm of loyalty, and loyalty could be broken. What began in silence would end in war. The book of Revelation gives a glimpse into this hidden conflict. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Michael, described in the book of Daniel as one of the chief princes, he emerges not as a passive servant, but as a commander, a defender of divine order. The dragon, identified as Satan, represents not merely a being, but a rebellion fully formed. The war was not fought with human weapons. It was a clash of will, authority, and allegiance. Saint Gregory the Great wrote that the fall of angels was instantaneous, yet its consequences echo through time. The rebels were cast down, not destroyed, but removed. Jesus himself in the Gospel of Luke declares, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." A moment, a falling that changed eternity. The war did not end with their fall. It moved from heaven to earth. The fallen did not lose their existence. They lost their position. The writings of the Apostolic Fathers, including Ignatius of Antioch, warn of spiritual forces, still active powers unseen, yet deeply involved in the affairs of humanity. The battlefield changed, but the war continued. The Apostle Paul writes, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers." This is the hidden war, not fought with swords, but with truth and deception, light and darkness, and humanity stands at its center. The question is no longer, what happened in heaven? The question is, which side are you standing on?